Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here. Happy 4th of July, day after 4th of July. We're back here in the markets, and a pretty good day today, even though it was kind of a slower holiday shortened week. It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, July 5th. Tomorrow's going to be Thursday, July 6th. We'll be back in the markets here. But today we're in the markets, and again, we're going to pick up where we left off last week here, being focused on our evaluation accounts and the training and coaching for this, and showing you the best possible places to take your trades to get a funded account. This has been a big success so far. We just started it last week, so if you're not familiar with it, head over to Day Trading Radio. I'll kind of go over it a little with you right now, but we added some things to the site to make the to make it easier to follow. And again, my name is DayTraderRockStar. I broadcast live every day at DayTradingRadio.com. We get in the markets. We're in there about 7:45, and we trade all the way to 4. And even though right now it's about 8 o'clock in the evening, we're always watching the markets, and that the markets are what I've been doing since 1996. And we've been broadcasting live, trading and teaching traders since 2007. That's right, 2007. With being in the markets for so many years, I've developed a methodology, a trading system that puts us in great positions, especially with stocks, options, and we also trade futures. Now, the stocks that we've been trading, we have what we call the high probability watch list. It's a section of the site, and if you go to the Day Trading Radio here, I'm not going to go too much into this. It's not about the Day Trading Radio site. It's going to be talking about the setups today, and I'm going to show you, for those who are involved in the evaluation challenge, meaning if you are taking the evaluation and you've opened up an evaluation account and are trying to get that to qualify for a funded account so you can start just banking some serious cash, this is what we're doing here. So again, I would start by just going up here to the prop trading coach and alerts here, and it kind of gives you a great video here to kind of get you started in exactly what you want to be doing, the steps to how to do that. Again, right now I've opened up the account with the Bullnox. I got a good link there for you, and it's giving you 90% off with the coupon DTR 90 and the DTR 70 off of different options here. And this is a fantastic way to trade the futures. If you don't, if you're not familiar with trading futures, or you maybe don't have the money to trade the futures, this is a fantastic way to both do that, learn, and possibly, and my job is to help you qualify and get a funded account, and then really start seeing the money. And I don't think it's very hard to do the way I have it planned out for you. We have a very established plan, a set of rules, a criteria that is very strict, and it makes it very easy to apply this and really just just go through the path and get a funded account. So right now I opened up the $50,000 account. That's what I'm trading with. And if you again go to the site and you sign up with the link and you apply the DTR 90 instead of paying the $125 a month, it brings it down to $14.25 to trade the account. They give you a $50,000 account. Your profit target, you have to just make $3,000. Draw down up to $2,500, and again, after you get qualified, first $10,000 you get to keep. After you qualify and get a master account, and if you make the first $10,000, you get able to keep. And anything after that $10,000, you split with Bullnox 90-10. You get 90% of it. They get 10%. Seems like a really good deal. This is something that definitely feels great to be able to offer this. So feel free to explore, and maybe you want a $100,000 account, 150, and these are different. I wrote down all this stuff so it makes it a little bit easier to understand how much it is with the option 1. Option 2 is the end of day account. You have to read into that. Best thing to do is just go over to the evaluation link there and read up on exactly what is, it's a very easy process, very easy. I was able to set it up in one day, one night, and we're already starting to reap the benefits on this. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We're only taking 3 setups, and again, that's again, off of this. Again, you don't forget to use that. You have to use that link there. But if you're going to, oh yeah, if you're gonna, the good place to start is to watch this video. All right, and there's some beginner videos here also, how to set up your evaluation account. The quad rotation, we use this as our entry. So I teach a little bit about the quad indicator and the formula. This is this video right here, the formula success and the results we're getting. And we started this last week, had tremendous results. I think we were trading about 83% profitable trades. And today we started off again because we're right back in the markets today. So we're going to go over those trades today and just show you the setup. So let's get started with that. And again, if you just want you want to take part of this, just head over to DayTraderRockStar.com. You'll see the link for the trading alerts, or just scroll down here for the link, and the code is DTR90, DTR70 for different options. And if you're new to Day Trading Radio and you want to get our tools, our RockBot, our trade alerts, the chat rooms and stuff, and you're not familiar with it, well, here, click on this and it'll pop up, and you'll give it a 10-day free trial. No credit card is needed. Just put in a username and a password, an email, and we'll send you back the link to get in, and you'll be trading with us, and everything will be easy. Very simple process there. And after you become you try it out and you want to become a member, we have different member options, and that's basically it, straight up. So the new thing is, when you do sign in, and for the members out there, this is going out to members, after you sign in, we have a lot of people asking, can you somehow get this is our dashboard here. We put our evaluation account on the dashboard now. So all you have to do is you could just go to the dashboard and you'll see the trades go on right now. Right now we're in a trade right now, a quad rotation trade. Again, more on that in a bit. And you can see it's starting to head back up, and we'll take profits on that soon. Again, that could pop up, pop out also. You might say that's too small, I can't really see it, but what you do is just, you get to click on that. I think you can right click on this also, picture in picture, and that'll pop out. And when it pops out, you can pretty much put it anywhere you want, like that, and then just kind of make it bigger, and then really see the whole thing right there. There it is. Look at that. There it goes. And again, I don't do a lot of trading after hours. The volume's not there, but if I do a signal for the traders that are hanging out with us today, I like to show them the setups and stuff, and we could take profit. I should have took a bigger position on that, but again, I'm doing a video and showing you the entries there. So that's one way of action. Then you could close that down. It'll pop right back down here, and you always have access to it. So it's very easy to keep track of that. That's much faster. It's in real time versus if you go to the prop trading website. We also feed it out there, but it's about a minute delayed, and that can mean a lot when it comes to trade. I want to take the I think I'm going to take the trade right here. I want to put the audio on here. Let's see. You should be able to, if you put the audio on here, let's see if you hear it. I'm not sure if you're going to hear it or not, if it's going to come through. Let's see. I might not have the volume on this right here. I just took the profits off of that, but you see how fast that went. So I just took profits off of it. Really nice. That's good. All right. So that's the first thing that we have working for us. We have that. Of course, the Bitcoin chart is still there. It's Paul's chart and our regular trading chart. This is the RockBot I have on there, the trade alerts. Everything else here is there. Our news platform, our trade alerts. Again, the HPS setups for the high probability. Those for the swing traders. And for those swing traders out there, you know who you are, the ones who are trading here with stocks. Man, we are on fire today. Fire. I hear that used a lot here. It's a new millennium word. Fire, man. That's smoke and fire. That's fire, man. I say that all the time. Well, the HPS watch list went out it goes out every weekend, and it talks about the best bets, what we're trading. And the best bet for this week was AbbVie. Especially I talked about AbbVie as a big mover in the beginning of the week, actually the day after 4th of July. And look at this thing, took off here. We're almost up about 3 points, was it? Let me take a look. At the $2.64. So beautiful run on that. And that's after we got in the 133 level. So we're up about 4 points on this. And this was based off of a double bottom. Again, not really going into these videos, not about that. I was going to do another video on it. But this, for those out there listening to this, this continues to be the best bet going into the week. And we're looking at 140 as our target. I'll give you the two other ones here. Believe it or not, we got a couple other ones. We got JD, which is a Chinese stock. And we circled that here. It's just off the lows, just starting to turn back up. A lot of things here on the daily rotation is great for us, but also the weekly. And we're going to see if we get that weekly turn back up, which will give us a big weekly divergence. Hasn't happened yet, and we actually might pull back a little bit further, but we're very close to being weekly oversold. You know, there is a spot down here. Again, a big, what we call a 1, 2, 3 pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we got down to this level, which would bring us down, you know, that's a pretty decent move down. I don't think we're going to get down there, though. We're going to look for this to move back up. Our stop would be here at 31.92. So like that one. And then there's a couple new ones here that we never really liked that are in long bases. So watching this teledoc down here out of a breakout of this base. We're going to watch this level, the 26 level, and try to get going out of the 26. It has a big trend line that we want to. This was a breakout of that trend line, and then we came back and retested it. So this blue line right here is an important trend line. And if we zoom down, you can see we're right up against it. So this is a key level. We're almost ready to break through it. I think when we break through it, this thing goes. And I'm going to say, you know, I could say this could possibly, you know, double. You know, there's no doubt that where this thing came from, where it is now, and where that $50 mark is right there. It's not that far up there. I do like the teledoc a lot, and we started our position earlier this week, or end of last week, just a few days ago, with the holiday in between. I don't even know where we are, but that looks great too. Google started to move today. Pulled back out of the flag, pushing back up. There was, you know, the heavy lifting still being done by a lot of the tech stocks, the Teslas and stuff of the world, acting really good. Look at that Tesla. They had good news with their deliveries over the weekend, and then we had a nice little pop on that today, and it's held up pretty good. And there's a lot of great stocks out there, and I do expect the market to go higher. I think it's a perfect opportunity to be in your fund, you know, these evaluation accounts. Let's get back to that now, after I gave you a couple stocks to watch tomorrow. Oh, one more I want to give you, and this one's going to be a good one. Watch the snowflake here. Snowflake, another nice base down here, and it's a nice little pullback. So we're watching just a little further pullback. This is on the weekly. Weekly is kind of, if you take a look at the daily, though, let's take a look at the daily. And the daily here is kind of drifting back into an oversold level. We're almost there. We talked about this pennant formation, and I said it's going to probably end up doing the same exact thing that this pennant formation did over here. Very similar setup here. And what happens is these pennant formations tend to drop before they pop. So here we go. Maybe a possible drop, and then we're going to look for that possible pop. And again, scares out most of the weak hands. You get that breakdown out of the pennant, and then it reverses quickly. So if we had any type of upside that breaks us through that 177, that will be you know, a big signal to be long this. I would be long 177, and it's giving away 5 points. But we'll also we're watching this day by day, minute by minute. So I see it happening as we're trading. So if I do see this relative strength in here, we want to be in this one. Eventually, we want to be in this for a nice move higher on this. But it's getting close. It's very close because we started to get that little breakdown here. All right, let's rotate back here to the S&P here. Now today, we had a Fed minutes come out, and the Fed minutes dropped us really good. And this setup right here was what we call an HPS setup, or a high probability setup. This is one of our and again, when we talk about the evaluation trading, all right, the what's going to make you successful is not to overtrade, all right, not to get chopped up. Remember, these things have rolling drawdowns. Sometimes, it's kind of weird the way they track your losses and they add up. If you pull back, even if you're up and it pulls back, they add those losses to a drawdown, a rolling drawdown. So you have to be very careful. So you have to be on these trades in the best possible way. You can't be like having to wait it out, say I'll get in here, and then the next thing is done, it's pulling back down, and you're down $1,000 thinking, and then it comes back up. That $1,000 is sticking in there. That's added. That's being charged against you, and that'll stay on that, and you got to stay above your drawdown. So even though you have the right trade, if you do have a pullback in that trade, that rolling drawback goes against you. So it's very important, very, very important to only take the setups that I'm supplying here, because those setups are the best setups. I am super comfortable and super confident, confident overall, that these are the best setups, and most of these trades could give you that qualification very fast. I mean, and most of these setups that I show you will give you 10 points. And I always say, if they're allowing you to take 7 contracts of the ES, all right, and I give you a good setup here, and the setup is going to be a combination of a 5 minute, which is going to be part of a quad rotation. It has to have the trend line or a coil. There's got to be certain things happening, and when we do identify those levels, the moves after those levels, because they're such precise and such great setups, those moves after that are usually 10 points. Sometimes they're even more. So if you trade in the ES, and I think if you do have, again, you're trading an account that you're basically trading for $14.95, and you have an opportunity to qualify, and it's only costing you $14.95, and if you qualify, then you get, it's definitely worth taking these. So when I give you these setups, there's only going to be 3 of them. I mean, not that there's going to be 3. There could be many during the day. It could be 5, 6 of them. But there's only going to be 3 scenarios that are going to be playing out. All right? And those 6 scenarios are going to go out as alerts. And we started sending those out this last week. I sent one out this morning at 8:30. We're going to go over those right now. But this was a good example of that 5 minute. There was a little news. We came down to a trend line. We got oversold, and this thing moved from 44.40 to 44.55. Now, again, we're looking for, what was our target here? Our target here is profit target of 3,000. That's what we're going for. 3,000 maximum, 7 contracts of the ES. All right, so let's do the math right there and make it easy for you to understand what's going on here. All right, so I just want to put this out on paper just to kind of give people we get big moves here. And again, I'm watching the markets right now, and let's just jump back before I go into this a little bit more in more detail. Let's just go back over here, and let's just say this was a setup we got. And just for argument's sake, we got in here. It was what I call a coil stochastic quad rotation. So it's a good setup here. Anytime you see this, you'll see a lot of my charting being done like this. You'll see a lot of these blue lines, and it's basically shorthand for me. I want to outline the channel. I want to outline the setup and what the setup means, and we'll take the trade off of that. But we'll always go back, and he'll be able to read this. Lots of times I'll see these. This is what we call a coil stochastic rotation. The rotation is all 4 of these getting oversold, but also the 9.3 to 14.3 also coiled up, meaning a series of lower highs come down, and it's waiting for that. And when that sets up, we take the entry there. So we did take that in. And for argument's sake, we didn't get, we didn't get a perfect, super perfect. Say we got it in a 78. This went up to 88. And this is not a bad trade to get here, from 78 to 88 in a matter of, let's see here, that was 4:30 to about, not 4:30, 2:30 to about 3 o'clock, a half an hour. So half an hour we went 10 points here, and it was not much of a pullback there either. Not much of a pullback. So you had 10 points right there. on an HPS setup. Now we had another HPS setup here. We probably had about 5 points. Earlier in the day, you had a nice HPS setup, and overall, you went up about probably 30 points. You know, who knows? Before market came back down. But this is the opportunities you're going to get. And again, what's our goal is to qualify, and to qualify, we have to get a certain amount. 10-point move. What you know, with the 50,000 account, you're allowed to trade up to 7 ES contracts, and a 10-point move with all right, I just broke it down very easy for you. A lot of people want this stuff broken down for you, for them, you know, to make it a little bit easier. 1 ES represents, and 1 ES represents going 1 point, you get $50. That's worth $50 basically, layman terms. If you had 1 ES on it, won 5 points. If you had 1 ES contract on, and it moved up 5 points, it would be $250. Multiply that by 5. If you had 5 on it, went up 5 points, it would be $1,250 on that trade. So you see these. So we go to 7, the maximum here, and you go 5.70 times. If you had a 7 ES on a high probability, you know, super signal like I give you, one of the 3, and you get 10 points, you qualify. You basically qualify. I mean, there's some other rules. You have to continue to have a minimum of 5 days trading, but basically you're there. And I'm not even saying that we're going to get 10 points all the time. If we get 5 points on some of these trades, you're halfway there. It's just not going to take us long at all to qualify. All right, if you apply the rules I'm going to be showing you. So again, $50,000 account, 1 trade, you could be qualifying. You know, you could be getting that master account and then doing the same thing. I wouldn't change things up. You know, what got you here is going to be discipline and patience, and the signals I'm going to be sending out to you. Now, as a Day Trading Radio member, you're going to get these signals. Let me go over these one more time for you. When you go up here, let me refresh this. I thought I sent out a signal today, but I must have refreshed everything this morning. You're going to go up to your Trade Alert Manager, right up here. And when you click on that, you're going to have your Alerts Manager here. And these are the different alerts you get. You get your regular trade alerts, any trades that we get into, the HPS alerts, which are the swing trade alerts, the high probability setups. You put your email in there. You come at email. The 5-minute alerts, these are our evaluation alerts. These are the alerts you want to be, you know, I'm not subscribed to them because I'm sending them out. So I don't need all that hassle. And then the announcements, I just, you know, I don't even need the announcements, but you would click on it and just save it. But this is the important one to get the text message here, the cell number. Find your carrier that's here. You know, anything. They have all of them. All of them are here. AT&T, Verizon, Wireless, Cellular One, everything. Put in your cell number, test it out, and then make sure your 5-minute alerts are on. That's the way you're going to get these setups. If you're not in front of the computer and you want to be alerted to when we have a super signal, this is how you're going to get it. So this is, make sure that is set up for you. All right. All right. So back to this. This was a trade we took before, and I'm going to stress this more than I stress anything. You have to take your profits when the methodology tells you to take the profits. I don't care what you're doing. You think that you're going to be in at the bottom, but look what happened here. We had a good setup here. I took that trade. I got out, and now we look back at this trade here, 83 down to 79. It just dropped 4 points. Now, we could have shorted that, but I didn't see a short setup. There might have been a little divergence there. But, you know, again, nothing is guaranteed in this market. But we do know where to get in. So, you know, I will show you that this was a quad rotation. As you can look over, I don't want to, every time I put my mouse over it seems to disappear. But right around here was a quad rotation. You can see all the you know, how this thing came down here. And, you know, we got in even a little late there, but I was pretty comfortable with it, and it moved right back up there. So. And then you got to take profits, and then you got to wait for the next setup. And now we have another quad rotation setting up, but I might actually take that. But I'll X this back out so we go back, put it back on the tab there. As you can see, there it is now. Again, all that is for you on your dashboard, and you will get those alerts. You will get those alerts. All right. So now let's go back to today's market, and I'm going to show you. Even today, a day after a holiday. And we've been in tune. Again, we're trading these markets every single day for the last 17 years. So we kind of know what we're doing here. We kind of feel this market out. We could feel the strength and stuff. And when you feel that strength or that weakness, you have to, respect it, and you have to trade with it. Don't try to outthink the markets. Don't try to do anything other than take the signals that I'm showing you. If you, again, I've seen this happen. I'll tell you the story. Back in 2009, during the tech craze here, everyone seemed to be trading.
Order submitted. Order filled.
So that's the
Order
rock bot.
submitted.
So the rock
Order submitted. Order submitted.
The rockbot has just taken a trade, and the rockbot, again, a tool that you get as a member of DayTrader, will tell you lots of times where these setups are happening. I like to confirm those because not every setup is, it's just a criteria, and that rockbot is just a divergence indicator. But I'm requiring everyone to have a quad rotation divergence. Also, I'm requiring it to have enough volume and some other things. So I'm not even going to look at this trade. We're going to finish this video. If I do see something, we'll jump on it. But, there's a lot I want to talk to you about, and I stress the importance of taking the signals. You have to take, and again, this is what a perfect opportunity for an evaluation account. It's not your own money. You have an opportunity to blow these things out of the water, and if you mess up, what is $14.95? This is great. This is, and it is not. It's not as easy as I make it sound. But it is, too. I mean, it's all about discipline and patience. If I can go back here and show you the setups that we looked at today, and each one of was, and every time I trade the markets with you, and I was going to tell you a story in 1999 when everyone was getting involved in the markets. I had about 4 friends that I was teaching to trade at my apartment, and we had a big setup there. I had a bunch of computers, and I turned my whole apartment into a trading studio. I mean, I had no life other than trading. And, I had computers all over the place, and they would come over every day, and we'd start the morning off, and some of them would quit their jobs to do this. And I told them, all right, and I opened up accounts for them. I opened up Schwab One accounts for each of them, and I put in about $10,000 into each. Well, maybe it was 5, 10. I don't even remember. It was such a long time ago. And I started them off, and I was under the stipulation that they weren't supposed to trade alone. And sure enough, someone would be, someone lived farther away. I'm not going to come in today. They trade at home. And within a couple weeks, they all blew their accounts out. They were down at toilet. In the toilet it went. Everyone. They all lost money. And and again, it's because you're a kid in a candy store here. This is a live casino. All you have to do is push a button. You might make money. You might pull that handle down, and quarters might come out, or it might not. But you have an opportunity. That becomes a very attractive thing for people who need to make money. They said, all right, but the market knows that, and it knows exactly what you're thinking. It's going to do the opposite, or it's going to, it's going to play games with you. So I'd be very careful on taking things other than the signals that. Once you go off the path, I can't be responsible. I just can't. So, with that said, we identify these setups during the day. So we'll go out. Let's go out here to Monday. I think Monday we had a half day. I don't even know if we traded. I did trade, but on Tuesday didn't even look at the market on 4th of July, even though the futures I think were open a bit overnight. I'm just zooming out of here. All right, so that's Monday here. So that was a half a day Monday. You can see there's some. So market opened up, and right in the morning we had a quad rotation. And a signal for a quad rotation is
order submitted. Order filled.
All right,
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Here's our setup. I just took it long here. All right. We'll go back to that in a second. Hold on. the key here is the quad rotation. The quad rotation is our four stochastic bands here. And again, not to say that I teach this every single day, so if you stick around long enough, you're going to learn this stuff. And we're looking at our four bands here, 4 bands of stochastics. And that's when we get all 4 of them oversold quickly, and kind of in sync here. They all come down together, and when I say oversold, they have to kind of get down to that 20 line. The important thing is that they're all 4, and we're going to put a line in like this, a straight line, 1. And this thing is kind of like, I put them in real fast, so they kind of be sloppy. They're not perfect lines, but basically you're going to just see these lines being straight down. And now what we're looking for is all of them oversold, but the top 1 or the top 2, but especially the 9-3 typically, is going to give us the divergence. So we're going to have all 4 quad rotation, but the top 1 is going to be a divergence, meaning our low and our lower low is going to be a higher low. That means the momentum has shifted here, and this is our trading opportunity right now. So when we take those trades, that happened at 9:30. A lot of these divergences will come up at 9:30. They will come up at 9:30. So when we have this setup here, when we have that low and the lower low and the higher low and the quad rotation, that qualifies for the setup. Now let's go over this, and I go over this in every video. All right, there's only 3 setups we're looking for. That puts us in a very tight, box. I call it a box, but the criteria is set really tight that we're not going to stray from this. We're not going to stray off the path. It's very simple to know what I'm looking for. It has to have the 4, all 4 just about oversold. It's really that the bottom 3 and the top 1 is going to be the divergence. That's a quad rotation divergence. That's what we call a quad rotation divergence. And that's our number 1 go-to trade. All right, that's our number 1 go-to trade. Let me bring this over here. All right, so that's the 3 trades we're going to be taking. I'm just going to continue on the video right here. So those in the room here, welcome. I'm just watching we switch over to the Rockbot. The Rockbot's in some good trades right now. And I'm in this on the evaluation account too, off of that. I didn't take it off. I'm just messing around with it right now. But let's go back to the Bengals there. I was playing Walk Like an Egyptian. So we have the 3 trades that we're going to stick to, and that's it. That's the key here. We're going to, and right before that we discussed, what a 10-point move. If you're using these evaluation accounts and you're able to trade 7 contracts, and 7 contracts with 10 points, that qualifies you pretty fast. And most of these most of these setups here, a quad rotation divergence, a quad rotation coil, and a quad rotation trend line. Now I usually say quad rotation retracement trend line, but usually it's anything, what we like to call these are dual indicators, or two indicators lining up. We have a divergence and a quad. We have a coil and a quad. This could be a coil quad in a channel, or a trend line. It could be a coil quad, a coil quad and a divergence. That would be even better. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out to some new people. These are the trades we're going to be going on. I'll kind of mark these down when I show you these on the setup. So first trade on Monday we got into, it was what we call a quad rotation divergence. It's our number 1 go-to, and you can see the nice reaction here, and it moved up. Now it moved up, and then it basically was a great, the whole day it moved up. That was the low of the day. Well, you probably, you might hold on to it. You might not. Again, with a rolling drawdown, you don't want to kind of give back anything. But we did kind of, we were here trading this, and we did see the pressure to the upside. So we kind of talked about this getting to the highs. Excuse me. Then the market started to pull back a little, and we started identifying this little channel. And when we have a channel like that, and not to say you can't take this setup, I mean, this is actually quite a good setup when you have a downward channel and you have a low and a double bottom. And look at that steepness here of that double bottom. So this is when we see a pullback. This is typically, and you have an uptrend, this is where we're going long, is when you see that rotation on the divergence here. And it was a 9-3-14-3, and it wasn't quite oversold enough to really focus on that, but it might have, it was so close that in some cases you might have kind of taken it. It's hard to say. I would have taken it on the divergence itself, and knowing that the 60-10 has been oversold, you have an opportunity there. If we zoom out here, you can see that was a perfect quad rotation. This was very close to being perfect. It just missed getting oversold, but we started to turn back up, and that was it. That was a pre-holiday trade, and typically that's usually a grinder type of trade, and not that it's going to give us a lot here. 84 to almost 94. I mean, imagine just catching that at 84 and getting 10 points out of that on a day like a Monday, and just it just happens over a 2-hour period. These things happen. These things definitely happen. All right, so I just put it out there. So that was a nice little move up here. I think we got up to the top here, and there was a half a day. Futures closed up, and then the holiday came around, and I didn't even pay attention on Tuesday. We didn't do much. Markets opened up that evening, and you can see, let's just go back and take a look at it and say, all right, here was a quad rotation divergence right here. Again, it's not that hard to recognize them. And that was a little move here, and how hard, it's not a, again, overnight trade at 10 o'clock on a holiday session, not much going on there, but the directional side of that trade is really perfect on that signal. Here we had another quad rotation here. Now you kind of had the quad here, right here, but then you had a little bounce and then a little dip and then a pullback, and it kind of put in a little divergence. It was a tough one, because it's not a real good divergence, but it is a quad, and it did have a nice little move here up. But typically we don't want to see the lows. We want to be able to, really take those. But anyway, we're just looking back at Tuesday for the first time, Tuesday night, overnight trade, and you can make money overnight. We're doing it right now. We're long right now. Take a look at the and I'm always looking at that 60-10 on the bottom here, and you can see the 60-10 rotation here. Kind of came down. We just started getting oversold here, and that might have been actually qualified. And that really didn't do much. It actually had a little pop and a rotation. Again, when the market is not giving you the volume that's needed, you're going to get very choppy. It's going to be fast rotation, oversold, overbought, and you should be taking that stuff off. Maybe you get a half a point. Not every setup is going to give you 5 to 10 points, especially overnight on a holiday. It's just not going to happen. So it's the battle. You have to decide if you want to, fight that battle or not. We just got oversold here, 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 here. Might have been here too. 5 o'clock in the morning. This is not a bad one right there. Lots of times, and again, a rule that I kind of pay attention to, if things start to drift lower and it seems like there is a real negative bias, and you don't want to really be going long. If you do get a stop out, meaning that you get a quad rotation and this flattens out and stays down here, it's going to be very hard to catch that upside, even though you did get that upside here and then pulled back down. Whenever you get an upside and you get and it rotates back up and gets over that 80 line, it's really up to you to recognize that the trend is your friend, and you should probably take what you get out of this trade and move on. All right, you should move on, because this is not really moving. And if you could identify that and have a little intuition on that, you're going to do much better. And any time that fails on the rotation, that's another reason to kind of get out. So the market here kind of rotated back down. Again, 6:30 in the morning, we came back. This was a pretty decent one, and kind of slowly moved back up on a quad rotation here. And again, for these prop trading things, you're not really it's probably worth even taking that shot. And then here, look at this one. This is a beautiful one right here. This is what we kind of call a coil here. Series of lower highs as they all kind of the 9, 3, 14, 3, and the 44, waiting on this one to finally get oversold. And right when that gets oversold, that's when you have your coil and your bounce. And that's one of the more aggressive moves here. And again, it got overbought here, probably right around here. It got a little further, moved up, and then kind of drifted back down. And again, you're gonna get some moves on this. Not every move is going to give you a 10-point move, especially on a day off. And futures are kind of just, not doing much. Look at this. There was not much going on here at all. But hey, you might have been able to pull something out of here, 89 to 91. You probably got a couple points, but like I said, it's what all these setups are going to give you an opportunity. They're going to have a little. Here's a beautiful kind of a divergence, a very steep divergence, and a quad rotation. And yeah, you had a little move, but again, I'm not putting too much into the trade on 4th of July. Half a day of futures, no stocks. Forget about it. So now the 5th opens up here. The 5th, Wednesday night, and the market starts to sell off. 3 o'clock European Open comes in here, and we had a little divergence right here in a quad rotation, and you had a nice little bounce, and that was it. And then the market started selling off here pretty good, and that's these things could hurt you. And that's the important thing, is if something fails, if something fails and there's just this trend down and you're going against the trend and you get stopped out, or this thing doesn't bounce on a quad rotation, what you should do is wait for a full rotation of the 9-3 before re-entering. You need to get out of this funky downward trend. So you have to make sure that this thing kind of corrects itself, pushes back up, starts a new rotation. And once it starts a new rotation, then you can start to eyeball it again and probably start to pick it up. But if it's in a downward trend and things are just kind of very sloppy, you did have a little move here, I'd just be careful. When the market comes back into play and there's volume and it's a real day, like here, the plays, the setups are much easier to spot. Much easier to spot. Now, we had this was Wednesday, right? We did have a setup this morning we took right at 8:15 right here. We did take this and got a little pop. Ended up being the low of the day. And, it could have. It went 68, we'll call it 70. It went to 90. It went up 20 points. I mean, the opportunities are there. That came back down here, and then we had another setup, and this was a good setup. I remember seeing this, but it was the 215 one that we looked at. This we had a lower trend line and a double bottom divergence right there, and a quad rotation. I mean, just the rotation is not what we want. We want a combination, and that's what's the important part of this. That's why we're not going to just take every quad rotation. We want to have a quad rotation divergence, a quad rotation coil, or a quad rotation trend line. In this case, you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have this lower trend line here that keeps on being tagged, and you had a divergence here, double bottom divergence, and a quad rotation. So this was your setup right here. This was a good one. We ended up taking this. Nope, actually I took the 215 one. Identified this one. And it did have a nice move. Market came back up here and then kind of sold off after the Fed minutes. But the Fed minutes, look at this. We pointed out this. This was a nice low, a series of lower lows, waiting for that 44 to get caught up. And then the 60-10 finally getting oversold. And that was your quad divergence. Rotation coil. That's your quad rotation coil setup right here, and that was a fantastic setup. And again, that went from 76 to 88, 90, another 10-point move, and not a lot of pullback on that. Then the last half hour, I don't like trading the last half hour, so not doing much of that. And that was it. And right now we're long right now. And again, we go back to the reason. We go back here. Let's take a look here. Remember, we have now this is on our trade. This is on our picture here. That's our trade right now. Again, that was off of a quad rotation relative divergence. All right, and I'm going to take it off right here because that's what we want to do. And let's see here. Just push the button and see how fast it is now. So it's kind of real time on our dashboard. So we had a trade here. If I put my candle over it, I mean my mouse over it, seems to knock it off line here. And that was a rock bot setup, and we just had a rock bot set up right there. That's kind of a coil, and we just took that trade off. And again, what's the criteria here? We have to have a combination, and we have to take profits. All right. So very exciting to take on this challenge. I think tomorrow we're really going to put the I think we're going to go in with the ES. You know, it's taken a while, a couple days, just to get used to the platform, the Bullnux platform, and make sure everything's running properly. And it feels like I'm getting good fills. It doesn't seem that bad. I know I've been hearing some things, but again, you only it's not a big risk. You know, again, if anything goes wrong, you always have that coupon. If you head over to Day Trading Radio, you get that coupon DTR2 for the 50,000 account. Profit target 3,000 can come in a day. Draw down 2,500. Maximum 7 contracts. Let's put it to the test tomorrow. Let's put this to the test tomorrow. I am excited for this. I'll dish out that $14.95. I don't think we're going to need anything. I'm telling you, you stick to the 3 setups. You don't try to, make up a setup and say that looks close or anything. Stick to them. The quad rotation is key. That's why we have a bot now identifying that. That's a plain old quad rotation right here. That's what. If we look back over on the rock bot here, I'm going to move that rock bot over here on the screen here so you can see it. The quad rotation came in right here, and the divergence long came in right here. So this wasn't important. It was just slowly moving up. I did take profits, but you're going to get the alerts. That little pullback here gave us a quad rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see this light move up here. Not much going on over this overnight. 4th of July hangover week. Some people just recovering today. I'm sure they're not trading like us. But that's it. All right. Oh, I took the wrong one and put it over there. I should need to put this back over here. All right. Let me see. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to work on some other things here with you. I think Anthony's going to call in a bit. But I want to get out there showing you there is great setups in this market. I think tomorrow we're going to take it. We're going to take those great setups. We're going to go in with some big contract size. We have 3 setups that we're looking for. Again, if you want to get the alerts and you're a member, make sure your alert panel is set up for those alerts. And if you're not, head over to DayTradingRadio.com. Sign up for that and get all the tools, the Rockbot, Tradeometer, everything, the live trade alerts. Our chat room, we'll be discussing all that in the chat room. We got a good sale going on right now for 4th of July. I would take advantage of that. You'll see, if you head over there, it'll pop up in front of you. You can't beat that. So we're going to send this out on the way. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I want to stick around with you guys in the room. Yeah, Trader Bob. I'm going to go over some of the questions now. All right. All right, let me send this out. Let me make double check here. Day Trading Radio. There's the sale. It's a great sale right now. And again, DTR 90 coupon. Use that link. Can't beat it. All right. Send this on its way.